What is the best way to increase testosterone? As you might already guess, living with a high testosterone is quite great. You are more attractive, you have more energy, you have more drive to do hard, difficult things which aren't pleasant for you, and you have motivation actually to that. You can pull more women, and it's just the beginning. So what's the best way and best diet to increase your testosterone to absolute roof? We have basically two goals. We want to have as high level of testosterone as is only possible, and we also have the highest possible sensitivity of our receptors to a testosterone, because practically you might have lower level of testosterone, but if your receptors, androgenic receptors, are much more sensitive to testosterone than in other people, you might feel better than them and achieve greater things with much lower testosterone. So we want to hit those two things. Number one is nutrition. Among all scientific researches about testosterone which I read, one thing is really a common sense in all of them. This is the fact that not providing any kind of nutrients, elements, vitamins can result in lower testosterone. And it's not just zinc, vitamin D or something. It is complex. You need to provide all needed elements, all needed vitamins to be happy from the high level of testosterone. So what you need to focus is providing yourself a nutrition-rich diet. And by nutrition-rich diet, you should focus mostly on few kinds of products. First are fruits, then meats, then some animals products like eggs or milk, and then healthy dairy. These are really four things that make a huge difference. Let's start from fruits, because most of us feel like, okay, I will eat apple and I will have enough vitamins, enough elements. But it's not really the case, because if you, for example, compare one kiwi and one apple, it appears that in one kiwi there is 5 times more vitamins than in one apple. So this small change in your habits, food habits, make a huge difference in your everyday vitamins intake. Another things are fully valuable proteins. Testosterone production depends on proteins enzymes. And if you don't provide proteins which cannot be created in our body by ourselves, we have a problem. Because of course we can get some nutrients from plants, that's not the problem. But the problem starts when you don't eat enough meat and enough eggs, which provide fully valuable proteins, which contains all types of proteins and which are essential for your body to produce all those hormones and build all those organs. And all needed proteins you can find of course in meat, but also for example in eggs. And what's interesting, the number of protein in egg, even though one egg is just 6 grams of protein by total amount, it equals 11 grams of protein from the plant source. This is how valuable is a protein from an egg. Also, testosterone cannot be created without an omega-3 acids, which eggs also are very rich in. Of course, not only eggs, if you eat other kinds of fat meats, like fat steaks, something like this, or plants products which are very rich in omega-3 acids, like for example, olive oil or avocado, that's also making a change. Basically, 40% of your diet should be fats. Most of scientific publications say that when you have 40% of calories from fat, it actually gives you the most benefits in terms of producing the testosterone from all different types of diets. What kind of meat I recommend the most? For sure it will be liver, because except it contains all needed kind of proteins, it also contains a lot of, and I really mean a lot of different vitamins. The amount is so high that you even cannot eat liver every day, because you can get just over vitaminosis. But once in a while you should really consume a liver. It's a superfood and it will give you really amazing nutrition score. Another super important element in production of testosterone is zinc. And with zinc there is actually a problem, because actually things which should be rich in zinc, like fishes, some other kinds of seafoods, are actually quite poor in that. It's proven that highest possible amount of zinc in all kinds of foods is in oyster. But if you cannot afford oysters daily, you can have a zinc as a supplement, as I have, and take it just every day. When we are already with supplements, I should also mention about vitamin D, which 90% of people who live in North Europe have deficits of, including me, including all Eastern Europe. There is really a huge problem with that vitamin during the biggest part of the year. And also what's interesting, healthy amount for a young adult man are considered higher and higher. Now, some scientific publications say even about 10,000 units. Of course, you cannot go too hard, you cannot take too much, because there are also some cases of people who got poisoned because of eating too much vitamin D3, but it's a really essential thing. And I personally take 8,000 units a day, and I feel really great. Another thing which is great in increasing testosterone, and I notice it on my own, and also many of my friends notice the difference, is an ashwagandha. Ashwagandha have this amazing ability to reduce our cortisol, and cortisol is super responsible for having a low test because it's created from the same things as the testosterone. So if your body creates cortisol, of course the testosterone can't be created. There is not enough substance for that. So these are my 3 favorite supplements for testosterone. And the other thing are all kinds of dairies with live colonies of bacteria and fungi, like for example yogurts, raw milk, and basically everything what contains these live cultures of bacteria. There are multiple scientific studies, not only on animals but also on people, which prove that it's essential to provide this kind of bacteria cultures to your goods daily to be able to absorb maximum amounts of nutrients and through this increase your testosterone. It directly correlates the level of testosterone, so you should absolutely increase those things to your diet. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you want to by any chance get better in studying, have higher intelligence, use in 100% the abilities of your brain, you can buy my ebook, which is in the description and which is based on over 50 scientific researches. So I really recommend to get it. And if you like this video, subscribe, like, see you later. Ciao, ciao.